Alright everybody, I got a new collection video update for you, and today I have my son Casey with me because he's had an interest recently when it comes to see me on the weekends of not only listening to this type of music I listen to, but also wanting to listen to the physical media portion of it. So went to Vintage Vinyl earlier today. He didn't really see any CDs he liked there, and then we went to Scratch to Spin where he did find a CD that he wanted there, so I'm going to let him show what he got from there.
Up first we got the Unplugged in New York Nirvana CD album. I don't really listen to different albums of Nirvana, so it's me at first try of it. Another thing I got over there was a Jason Voorhees Friday 13th Funko Pop there, which was like the only thing they had of Friday 13th there. So we got pretty lucky when it was there.
Yeah, we did. Do you want to stay or are you going to leave? Alright, whatever, doesn't matter to me. Alright, we're going to go through the stuff from Scratch to Spin. First, I'm going to show some CDs that my wife bought. First one is Anvil. This is 13, and this came out, I want to say, in 2013. No, 2009. So Anvil's been around since like 81, 82, and this album was the album they released right after the documentary This Is Anvil, the story of Anvil, and that's pretty much how I ended up getting into the band. Really good, solid, three-piece, generally, metal band out of Canada. Then we've got the second album from Megadeth, Peace Sells, but Who's Buying? So getting this on CD, we also have it on vinyl. Another one she liked. This, I'm pretty sure, is her favorite and my favorite of the Megadeth CDs. And she gave me a thumbs up, so I am correct. And then she picked up the CD version of the Cavalera re-recording of the Sepultura album Schizophrenia, which we do also have on vinyl. It was put out on Nuclear Blast Records last year. I'm pretty sure it was last year. Or maybe earlier this year. I noticed they did the first two re-recordings last year. And I want to say that one was towards the end. And then I picked up a couple CDs as well. The Ritual by Testament, which is the last album that they did with the original lineup, and puts me really only missing one album from Testament in the overall collection. This is only the second CD from Testament that we have, but we have just about everything else on vinyl. And then a band called Striker, and this is Armed to the Teeth, and this came out in 2012. So I really don't know a whole lot about this band. I'm pretty sure I did listen to them before. And I want to say these guys are from Canada, if I'm not mistaken. I did a quick Google search on them when we were at the store. So that's the CDs. And did get two records from Scratch to Spin, but one is actually for Ron Haggerty, so I'm not going to show that one. He can show it whenever I send it to him. He can show it on his channel. So one I saw at Vintage Vinyl, but it was a little bit more than what this one was. They had Scratch to Spin had a couple of cardboard bins that were VG records, was just all it said, and for the most part they were like, pretty much everything was under $20. So No Mean City by Nazareth, and this was originally released in 1978. I don't claim to really know much about this album. I don't think I've heard any of the songs off of here. But I really like Nazareth, the stuff that I have anyway, and if nothing else, it has a really cool cover. And the rest of the records are from Vintage Vinyl. Some of this I've been looking for quite some time. I'll show the first one. I'll show because I got a deal on it. Finally getting to complete the original Rob Halford run and Judas Priest Turbo, released in 1987. So he had this tagged for $20. Not an album where I really wanted to spend $20 on. I'm a Judas Priest completist, meaning I will own every Judas Priest album they have, whether I think it's great or not. This is an album that's really not that great, in my opinion. I mean, it's got some good songs on it, don't get me wrong. But I feel like there was just too much of a pop. Turbo Love is a good song, in my opinion. Locked In, I think Rock You Around the World isn't a bad song. Reckless isn't too bad. Like I said, overall it's not one of my favorite albums from them, but I'm a Judas Priest fan, and they're my second favorite band, so I was going to pick this up at some point. I was kind of hoping maybe I'd find a copy for like $5 or $10. I tried to go 10, he would only go down to 15 for me. But, and so the next is a Deep Purple album. I probably only heard it like a couple of times, The House of the Blue Light. And this originally came out in the record itself doesn't look like it shows, but maybe the bottom of the jacket does. I don't even think with your good eyes you can read this. I don't know if there's a date down there or not, to be honest.
Nope, only addresses and yeah. Yeah, upside down.
Now, this I want to say is like a late 80s, early 90s release from them on the Mercury label. Let me see if there's any kind of inner sleeve in here. Probably won't tell me much anyway, but let's see. We got a lyric sheet on the front. Let's see if it has a year. Looks like it says, is that an 86 or an 88?
86.
Okay. Good thing you stuck around for the video, because I would not have been, I would have just guessed and said 88. So it's always good to have a pair of young eyes to guide you along when you become blind. Then added to my Sammy Hagar collection with some Sammy Hagar Live 1980. I don't know if this is all one show or not, but it's got Trans Am Highway, Lover Money, Plain Jane, 20th Century Man, This Planet's on Fire, In the Night, Danger Zone, and Space Station Number 5 for $15. I didn't think it was. I really think it's kind of funny how you can see probably what he paid for it versus what I ended up paying for it, which usually there's pretty big difference. But this was released on Capitol. For the most part, I mean, I can find a lot of pretty decently priced original copies. Then there's some things that he wants like $30, $40, $50 for, and I'm just not going to be doing that. Next up, a Ted Nugent record I've been looking for. If You Can't Lick 'Em, Lick 'Em. And this was 1988 on Atlantic Records. Back cover there. So I've got a pretty good bit of his 70s to 80s material so far. And then a Crocus album that I haven't had, but I've heard nothing but good things about it. And picking it up for only $16. Heart Attack. I know Ron is real fond of this album. I don't recall having, I may have heard it before, I'm not really sure. And this was in 88 as well. And then I want to say this has Sammy Hagar on it, but I'm not completely sure. Montrose, Jump on It. and this was released in '76. So I want to say Sammy was on this one. I'm not very well versed in the Montrose stuff, but this is the first album that I actually had just from Montrose. I do have a solo instrumental album from Ronnie Montrose, who is the guitarist on that album. And then also able to add another Uriah Heep, Fallen Angel. This was on the Chrysalis label, and I have it upside down, the back cover. So let's see what it says, what year it came out. 78. So absolutely love Uriah Heep. I haven't really heard a lot about this one, but I'm a Uriah Heep fan. Love these guys, and artwork's very interesting, to say the least. But that's it for the collection update, and that'll do it. And thanks for watching. Thanks for I don't know if I can really thank you for having my son here, because I had him here. But anyway, that's all.